Okay, it's 7:30 and we're recording, so I'm going to go ahead and start. Good evening. Thank you for coming to the IACAC Virtual College Exploration Session. I want to just give you a couple of quick notes and then I will turn it over to your presenter. First of all, if you do have any questions this evening, please use the Q&A button and your presenter will stop it periodically and answer questions. Also, your camera and microphones are turned off, so your presenter will not be able to see or hear you, nor other attendees. Also, we want to make sure that you realize there are additional sessions on the schedule. The Virtual College Exploration Fair goes on for a few more weeks, and so please do feel free to visit the website, iacac.org, to check out and see if there's any other presentations that you'd like to attend. Also, and finally, this session is being recorded. There will be a recording available of it on the IACAC website within a few days after the session. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Hayden from Franklin College. Thank you, Hayden.
Thank you. All right. So we are going to jump in. Dina, can you see that?
Nope, not yet.
It should be correct now.
Coming up now, yes. Yes.
Perfect. Okay, is that okay? You see it okay?
Yes, absolutely.
So as Dina said, my name is Hayden Sigelski, and I am an admissions counselor at Franklin College in Franklin, Indiana. I've just been at Franklin a little over a year and a half now as an admissions counselor. However, I am an FC alum. I graduated from Franklin in 2016 with a Bachelor of Arts in Spanish and a focus in education. So I am super excited to talk to you all about the opportunities at Franklin College and what you can pursue. Additionally, I am one of 3 admissions counselors for the state of Illinois. So if you are from more like the Chicagoland area, you'll be working with Myron Duff, one of our admissions counselors. If you're from the central part of Illinois, that's me, Hayden Sigelski, and if you're from the southern part of Illinois, you'll be with Amy Fott, one of our other admissions counselors. So if anybody needs specific contact information, just let me know and I'm happy to drop that in the chat for you. So Franklin's motto is, what will you pursue? Our curriculum is named after it. It's called The Pursuit. We truly have students thinking about what they'll pursue from the moment they visit campus or start thinking about Franklin College as an educational choice, all the way until they graduate and hopefully well on after. So throughout this presentation, think about what you could pursue at FC and how we can help you reach your dreams and your passions. So kind of getting into some of our fast facts. Obviously, we are in the state of Indiana. We are just about 20 miles south of Indianapolis, which means it's quite literally in our backyard. But we're also pretty centrally located to several large cities. So St. Louis, Chicago, Cincinnati, Louisville, and then obviously Indianapolis as well. We have just about 1,000 students total, which means your average class size is right around 15 students. In some of your beginning level classes like Psych 100, public speaking, you may have closer to 20 to 25, but if you come see campus, you'll notice our classrooms are not built to hold a lot of people. In some of your upper level classes though, those numbers can definitely dwindle down to even 11, 10. Actually, as a student at Franklin in a 300 level Spanish class, I had a class with just myself and one other student. So if one of us was absent, we were speaking a lot of Spanish that day. Our student to faculty ratio is 11:1, which means every 11 students, there's a faculty member. They all serve as academic advisors as well. So they're going to really be able to advocate for you inside the classroom and outside of the classroom. A couple of other quick facts. 97% of our students are employed or in graduate school within 6 months of graduating. I'm going to talk about immersive turn in just a little bit, but that is truthfully, I believe, why students have such a high success rate once they come to Franklin. And I should say, that is not working at a local Starbucks or something like that. It's in a career or a field that you wanted to pursue. A couple other things. We are about 40% students who are involved in Greek life. We have about 50% of students who are in athletics, and we have over 50 majors, and they range across 24 academic disciplines. So We're going to get into some of those majors and programs. So here you can see a full comprehensive list of programs that we have. Where you see the little star, that can also be a minor. So our top programs at Franklin College are biology, chemistry, business, and journalism, as well as elementary education. And then the two front runners behind those 5 are exercise science and psychology. We've seen a really big uptick in interest in psychology. It's been moved into our new science center, so that's really been beneficial to our students. And we actually have added one major that you can see as a minor, neuroscience. This past year, we actually added it as a major. So again, these majors and minors range across several different academic disciplines. The social sciences, the natural sciences, humanities, the arts. So there's a lot of things that you can pursue at Franklin. And if there's not something that you're like, wow, that really nothing's jumping out to me, but a couple of things I feel like I'm interested in, you can also look at doing an individualized major. We've had several students do that with like a sports management, where they've taken some business and journalism and combined it with their passion for athletics. Additionally, I want to mention that we have pre-professional programs where, for example, if you're a biology major, maybe you want to add on a pre-med track and help get the classes and kind of that career guidance from an advisor to support you as you pursue med school. So those are the pre-professional programs with advising students can pursue. The cooperative programs are programs that Franklin has partnered with another institution to provide students with a degree or program. So for example, engineering works with IUPUI in Indianapolis. So you do 3 years at Franklin College and get a Bachelor of Arts in Mathematics. And then you do 2 years at IUPUI that's focused in a specific type of engineering. We also have 2 graduate programs, our Master of Science in Athletic Training and our Master of Science in Physician Assistant Studies. So as I mentioned, our curriculum is called The Pursuit at Franklin College. We have a robust first-year experience called Launch, which I'm going to go into next. We have scaffolded undergraduate research opportunities. Every student at Franklin College is required to either do an undergraduate research opportunity or an internship before they graduate. And so there's a lot of opportunities for students to be supported in their academic passions or in their career passions. We have cohesive professional development. So our career and professional development offices are housed in our Center for Exploration, and they are willing to work with students on resumes, cover letters, mock interviews, setting up that LinkedIn profile. They're always willing to help students. We have overt technology integration, meaning where it is necessary and practical to have technology in your classes. For example, that as I mentioned, moving psychology into the Science Center, we want our students to have those opportunities. The immersive applied experiences, I'm going to talk about immersive term in just a little bit, but students have a 3-week period during the month of January that's called immersive term. They can do in-classroom experiences and out of the classroom experiences during that time. The last thing on this Pursuit curriculum that's important to name is our relevant and responsive liberal arts. So Franklin College is a liberal arts college, which means that you're not only going to be an expert in your field upon graduation. So maybe you're getting that Bachelor of Arts in biology. Of course, you're going to be an expert in biology, but you're also going to have a marketable skill set. So think of the liberal arts as a couple of English classes, a math class, a lab science, a social science, a fine arts credit, a modern language credit. And initially you might think this is just like high school. Why would I do this all over again? At Franklin College, these classes are going to have direct overlap that are kind of subconsciously making you a better student. You're well-rounded. So that English class just made you more analytical and you're able to articulate your ideas better in your biology papers. That history class just gave you a context for an event you're talking about in your business class. So there's going to be a lot of direct overlap that makes you a stronger student. Additionally, it's building a marketable skill set of being a problem solver, being a team player, being able to think creatively and flexibly and being adaptable, especially as technology continues to change. I feel like in the last couple of years, it really has changed a lot. And you want to be able to continue to market yourself for several years and several careers. There's tons of research now on how there is not the same sense of loyalty with newer, younger generations where you're staying with that same company until you retire. You want to be able to market yourself not only for that first career, but second, third, fourth, fifth. Or if you decide to make a jump from health to education or education to business, you want to be able to market yourself, and having a liberal arts degree does that. So as I mentioned, Launch, this is one of our features of our liberal arts curriculum. So Launch is a cohesive first-year program. It starts with your new student registration day. So as a student who plans to come to Franklin College, you attend a registration day where you meet with your academic advisor, you come to campus, you meet with several people through different sessions, and we have one in April and 2 in June. And the earlier you deposit to Franklin College, the earlier typically you come to a registration day. Welcome Week is the week prior to classes starting. It's a really fun time on campus. There's a lot of social and community building activities happening, and it's just a fun time before classes start. Launch, the class is a first-year seminar. So 3 days a week, you take a topic-based course. Just to name a few, we've had one specifically on a dog's purpose, looking at the variety of types of roles that dogs play in our lives. So service dog, police dog, family dog. Pretty much every week they have a guest speaker with a dog. We've had a class on Marvel and religion. We've had how's your food source? What's on your plate? Where's it coming from? What's in it? We've had some on data privacy. What is Facebook doing with your data? What is Instagram doing with your data? They just watched The Social Dilemma, which is on Netflix, and they just watched that, and it's been really interesting to hear young students talking about how their data is being used on social media. So that's just a couple of examples of first-year seminar classes. And those classes really gear you to read and write what's going to be expected of you at Franklin College. So you're gearing up to set yourself up for success, but you're doing it about a topic that hopefully you're interested in. And then 1 day a week is a hands-on lab called Launch Lab. And this is more about your non-academic hurdles. So time management, how do you dissect a big reading? Are you registered for your spring classes? Do you need help finding an on-campus job? How do you communicate with professors? Just those types of topics that sometimes are a struggle as you transition into college, but aren't necessarily academic. So those 4 people are involved in that first year seminar and Launch Lab. Your faculty instructor. The Launch Lab is taught by a staff member, someone called your new student advocate. And then your Launch Lab also has your peer mentor, your launch mentor. And then additionally, your academic advisor, who is a faculty member, plays a role in this as well. As I mentioned, immersive term is a time on campus where you'll be able to do hands-on things, no matter if you're on campus, out of the country, or in a different state. Again, I'll touch on that in a little bit. Pivot is an on-campus personal development summit. It's 2 days at the end of immersive term, and there's sessions about like 1,001 ways to make ramen. There are sessions on how to tie a tie. There are sessions on goal setting and making vision boards. How do you dress professionally but keep your fashion sense? So again, very fun 2 days on campus. Hamilton 1 is the last thing I want to mention, and this is part of our Student Success Center is located there as well. But there's a lot of academic resources on Franklin College's campus that are all free to students. The Right Place to help support writing, the Math Study Center to support math. We have supplemental instruction for classes that are historically difficult and have high rates of D's, F's, and W's. So students can take advantage of those SI sessions, tutoring, or math and writing support in Hamilton 1. Okay, so jumping in, so this is broken up into 3 sections. Instantly at home. So Franklin College is a very small, close-knit community of just about 1,000 students total, meaning you're going to know lots of different people on campus, and you'll be able to engage with them in and out of the classroom. We also are located in the city of Franklin, which is just about 20,000 people. So it's a relatively small community as well. Tons of coffee shops, bookstores, little boutiques, restaurants, and things like that. And it's all within walking distance of campus. You can see in the middle, Indianapolis. So we're just located again 20 miles south of Indianapolis. So whether it's a fun campus event where we're going downtown, like Christmas at the zoo or for a Pacers game, there are tons of things to do in Indianapolis, from museums, again, athletics, to just fun walking trails and cool things to see. And taking on the world is the last perspective. So our immersive term is where you can, again, leave the country, you can go to a different state, go do some research, go do an internship, just go immerse yourself in an experience. So getting into those internships, as I mentioned, the month of January is immersive term, and that is when students do these internships. Your freshman year, you take a class on campus, topic-based, kind of similar to Launch in that regard. Counterculture of the 1960s has been a topic, stand-up comedies and sitcoms, and they did a big theater production, comedy production at the end of that time. Again, it's just 3 weeks. Then sophomore through senior year, that's when you can go do these internships. So students at Franklin, again, are either doing an undergraduate research project or an internship prior to graduating. Franklin College has up to 16 credit hours of internship credit available to our students, meaning that you have ample opportunity to take advantage of internships, and maybe a couple different. Most are doing 2 to 3. So for example, if you are a business major, maybe you'll want to work at a couple of different places. Maybe you have a major in a language, so you go and do an internship that's specific to Spanish or French, but you know you're going to go to grad school for something else. Those internship opportunities are really meant to be immersive in nature. And obviously, you know, if you're an athlete or you have a busy fall or spring schedule, this immersive term where you're only worrying about that one thing is a really great spot to squeeze that in. Doing something for 2 hours is very different than doing something for 8 or pursuing it as a career. So here are just a couple of our internship partners that we've worked with previously: Eli Lilly, Cummins, Children's Museum, St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, the State House File, Johnson Memorial Hospital, IU Health, and Salesforce. This list is not exhaustive. Our career services page keeps everything updated. So if you're interested in what our most recent class just did, where they're working now, obviously internships often lead to jobs too. We've had students go abroad for internships, and I'm going to talk a little bit about those study abroad opportunities next, but those are pretty extensive as well. So as I mentioned, immersive term will also allow students to go abroad. Unfortunately, the 2021 trips were canceled because of COVID. However, we have 2022 trips taking off to Morocco and Spain, South Africa, France, Italy, and England, as well as Guatemala, Puerto Rico. We have some domestic trips going to New York City, Savannah, Georgia, and the Western United States. We've had students go quite literally all over the world. We've had immersive term trips go to Japan, Canada, the Eastern Europe, Greece, Turkey previously. So there's tons and tons of opportunities to go abroad. That immersive term is definitely kind of a sweet spot for students because it is only 3 weeks, so you're not really able to get homesick during that time. Also, you can go by yourself. You don't have to necessarily do a faculty-led trip. You can go, as I mentioned, do an internship. So we've had students go to Italy for wedding planning, Ghana for a more medical-based internship, Costa Rica to do teaching, Spain to work in a counseling center. So tons and tons of opportunities outside of the classroom at Franklin College. So we have a predominantly a residential campus, meaning about 70% of our students live on campus. We require students to live on campus if they live within 30 minutes of campus, or excuse me, if they are outside of 30 minutes of campus, they are required to live on campus. Otherwise, you do have the option to commute. Obviously, as out-of-state students, that would be difficult. We have 4 residence halls though. LC Hall is the one on the far right. That is where most of our first year students live. It's a little bit newer, but all amenities are consistent throughout all of our residence halls. So they all have free laundry and they all have thermostats in the room. Hoover and Klein halls are the other 2 residence halls that house first year students. And then as an upperclassman, you can live in our apartment style living or our single room living too. We also have 3 campus homes. The Modern Language House is one of those. So it's a really beautiful old campus home. And you just, as a French or Spanish major or minor, you can live there. And then the other theme houses change. Additionally, we do have fraternity housing for students who join a fraternity, and that costs the exact same as living on campus, so that is an opportunity. We don't have sorority houses, but if you are a fraternity member, you can live there. So that's a little bit about our campus community. We have 1 dining hall. It's pretty centrally located. Campus is quite literally 10 minutes one side to the other, so there's not really a more ideal location. They're all kind of spread equally throughout campus. So getting into some of the other fun things that you can do as a Franklin College student. We have over 50 clubs and organizations, and that ranges from academic honorary societies to advocacy organizations to kind of your standard clubs, Passion for Paws, Scrubs Club. We have Greek Life. We have 3 sororities and 5 fraternities. We have theater. We have music, band, choir. We have Religious Life. We have our Center for Diversity and Inclusion, houses Black Student Union, the Grizzly Pride Alliance, to name a couple. We have an international book club. We have our Franklin Communications, so the Franklin newspaper. So again, tons of opportunity to be involved on campus. And obviously that's one of the things that you're going to be excited about. So as you start to kind of narrow down colleges, look for those opportunities. Additionally, we are a very service-oriented campus. So we have a lot of service programs, to name a few. Well, I already said Passion for Paws, but Scrubs Club also gives back. A lot of our clubs give back, but Rally Dance Marathon, Habitat for Humanity, which has alternative spring breaks, and Best Buddies on campus. So if you're looking for a campus that does have service on it, you'll definitely find that at Franklin College. Annually, we give about 21,000 hours back to the greater community. We also have a leadership minor. We have a Be Like Ben mentorship program, a growing Maker Lab, and Leadership Johnson County that are located right here. Additionally, we do have some civic engagement. So a lot of our political science majors enjoy Model UN and mock trial. And then the convocation and speaker series brings in a variety of speakers to campus. So we are a Division III school, meaning we don't have athletic scholarships, which I know can be a bummer, but you're going to find a very holistic college experience at Franklin. You'll be able to play and compete at the collegiate level, but you'll also be able to be involved, do those internships, go abroad, and again, have a really marketable skill set upon graduation. So here's just some of our programs that are offered. That percentage is actually closer to 50% right now of students who play or participate in athletics on campus. So if you are interested in being an athlete at FC, I definitely strongly encourage you to check out the athletics tabs of our website and fill out the recruit questionnaire, come to campus, and meet with a coach. I think what makes Franklin really unique is that you will see our football players at our theater productions and our theater students at the football games. It's a small place, so people are very interested in supporting their fellow Grizzlies. So getting into kind of the admissions process, obviously this is a very unique year. So to apply to Franklin, you can fill out our application on the website or through the common application for free. Both are free. Applying to Franklin is free. However, this is where I want to say, if you are a senior, a complete application would be your application and your high school transcript. If you are someone who is listening to this as a junior or sophomore, will be kind of a to be decided. For this year, Franklin College has adopted a test conditional policy, meaning that if you have a 3.0 or above this year as a senior, then you do not need test scores to apply to Franklin. However, if your GPA falls below 3.0, then your your admissions counselor will work with you to advise you on supplemental materials, test scores, letters of recommendation, an essay, or a creative video or an interview with us. So again, for juniors, sophomores, even freshmen, if you're on here, that's something that will be to be determined later on. But our seniors this year, it looks a little bit different. So these are our middle 50% ranges. Franklin College admissions counselors do a holistic review, which means we look at your grade trend, we look at your GPA. If you have supplied test scores, we're going to look at those. We'll look at your resume if you send it. We will look at all materials and consider that in your application. So the middle range is 2.9 to 3.2, ACT 19 to 25, SAT 1020 to 1190. Getting into scholarships, obviously we recognize that college is a huge investment and you want to know what scholarships are available to you. So our Ben Franklin Scholars Program, the deadline has actually been extended to December 1st. This criteria is for students that have a 3.9 GPA, 1320 SAT, or a 28 ACT. It is a competition that you come to campus and you can compete for up to a full tuition scholarship. It also automatically bumps up your merit scholarship. So should you not win the full tuition, it still bumps up your merit scholarship. Our Podium School of Journalism is a scholarship that requires an essay, GPA 3.0 or above, and it's one full tuition scholarship. Again, invite only for that, and you do have to be majoring in journalism. Our academic scholarships are something for everyone, though. So our scholarships this year look at your high school strength score, so the academic rigor of your high school, and or your SAT or ACT scores, and your GPA. They actually are going up to $20,000 this year, so potentially you could have a really nice academic merit scholarship depending on your academics. And that can really help with some of that cost of attending a college. We have fine arts grants. Those are a quick interview or portfolio depending on the type of art, and it's due by April 1st. So students who are interested in music or theater do not have to be majoring in those. It's just a participatory scholarship as well. So you know you're interested in theater, but you're going to major in biology, you can potentially earn some fine arts grants just for participating throughout your 4 years. Art, you do have to major or minor, but again, potential extra scholarship money. Out-of-state grant. This is for admitted students. And actually, because of coronavirus this year, you do not have to visit campus to be eligible. So if you're an out-of-state student, I strongly encourage you to apply to Franklin. Those grants are ranging from $1,000 to $4,000 this year. And that's just for being an out-of-state student. I strongly encourage you to still come visit campus, at least do a virtual visit, but just know that you're eligible for that. And then any student who has a sibling, parent, or grandparent that has graduated from Franklin College is eligible for $500 to $2,000 in an alumni grant. The big thing that I also want to recommend and remind students of is that the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, is open. It opened on October 1st for our seniors and will close on April 15th. Our FAFSA code is 001798. That allows us to give you a more holistic financial aid offer that will take into account state and federal eligibility as well as loan eligibility. So important dates and deadlines. Franklin College offers rolling admission and scholarship notifications, meaning you can apply in July of 2021 and start in August. You can apply tomorrow, you can apply in March. I recommend applying prior to December 1st because that is our priority deadline for maximum aid consideration. So it's just something to remember. As I mentioned, the FAFSA is open from October 1st to April 15th, and May 1st is our enrollment deposit deadline day. This May 1 date is basically to guarantee your financial aid and your slot in the class. So May 1 is an important date for us. So as I mentioned, thinking about your pursuit and what it looks like at Franklin College. Obviously, as you begin your college search process, there's a lot to think about and a lot to consider. So take some time to think about what you're looking for in an institution. Do you want a small experience? Do you want a small class? Do you want to know your faculty members? Do you want them to know your name? That's something that Franklin College will offer you. So I definitely recommend doing some hard comparing and contrasting of institutions and what they can offer you. Obviously have very open and honest, transparent conversations with your admissions counselor. Ask questions that you're scared to ask. It's important for you to get the whole picture before you make a big decision. And the last thing I will say is follow us online. So we have an Instagram, a Twitter, and a Facebook page. And that's how our students really can get a sense of what's going on our campus. Several of our academic department pages have Facebook pages and Instagrams as well. Several of our student organizations and Greek Life, Religious Life, Center for Diversity and Inclusion have pages as well. So now I'm going to flip it over to see if anybody just has questions. Let's see. Okay. Someone would like to know what is most important to include in their kind of college application. So I recommend obviously including that transcript. But if you know that you had a rough semester here or there and you want to let your admissions counselor know, definitely include maybe a quick essay on that. You know, here's what I had going on my junior year where my grades dipped a little bit lower than they traditionally would have. It's basically a time for you to have that, again, very open and transparent conversation with your admissions counselor. Obviously, letters of recommendation are really great too from people who know you well, especially in the classroom. So that's what I would recommend. Someone else would like to know if we are offering visits on campus right now. So Franklin College is offering 2 types of visit, or I guess technically 3 types of visits. We have individualized visits Monday through Friday, and those are in person on campus. So you can come to campus, you'll meet with your admissions counselor depending on where you are in Illinois. It will either be myself, Myron, or Amy, and then you can also meet with a faculty member in your area of interest or kind of what you're interested in studying. You can meet with our career services office. You can meet with our global education. You can meet with somebody from our first year seminar, Center for Student Success office. And then additionally, you can also meet with a coach. So if you're interested in athletics, they're always happy to meet with their students and show them around as well. We also offer a virtual visit that's going to have those same components. You'll still meet with admissions, you can still meet with a coach or a professor, or a different office on campus. Obviously, you just won't physically be able to see the campus. However, we have a really great virtual tour that I would strongly recommend checking out that allows you to see what campus looks like. We also have a drone overview. The last type of visit that I want to mention is our Saturday visit. As an out-of-state student, that might be a little more helpful if it's easier to drive up on the weekend. And that's going to be more group style, so you'll be meeting with admissions and a presentation. But you'll still see campus. You can meet with a coach if they're available. Professor meetings are harder to do on the weekend. So definitely, again, strongly encourage visits. And I think that's probably the 3 types of visits for now with COVID that we'll have. And again, that Ben Franklin Scholars Program, if you're eligible for that, that program will be virtual as well this year. Next week, actually, or excuse me, not next week, October 19th through the 23rd is our virtual Blue and Gold Week. There's going to be sessions on every academic program. There's lunch and learns. There's several sessions on financial aid. So a lot of good stuff and those coming sessions. So just check out our website if you are interested in, kind of just hearing virtually a little bit more about the college or maybe your major that you're interested in. Definitely recommend that. And that's a free resource to you as well. So just get online on our website and check out the list of different sessions. We have things from first year seminar, academic advising, study abroad, lots and lots of different things. So I'd say that's a really strong visit opportunity as well. This question is, do you recommend submitting test scores if your GPA is above 3.0? So if your GPA is above a 3.0 and you have, let's just say you have a 3.0 GPA and you apply to Franklin and you're admitted, and then in January you decide to take your SAT or ACT. You can definitely still go ahead and submit those. It could potentially bump up your merit scholarship if your test scores are stronger than your high school strength score. So that's definitely an opportunity. However, if for some reason your test scores were to technically lower your merit scholarship, or it wasn't as strong as that strength score, you won't have to worry about that. Submitting your test scores will assist you in potentially gaining aid. It wouldn't take away. So you can definitely do that. And then obviously if you're interested in Ben Franklin Scholars, you have to submit test scores for that. Let's see if there's any other questions. This person would like to know what my favorite thing about Franklin College is. So as an FC grad, I would definitely say that the faculty members are the best part about campus. They're very genuine, down-to-earth people who really, really care about students and their success on campus, in the classroom, out of the classroom, and everything in between. I think what makes Franklin really, really unique is that you are you're going to know your faculty well. You're going to know who to go to when you need advice. You're going to know who to go to for networking opportunities. You're going to know who to go to who's been abroad before. At Franklin College, pretty much the second you step on campus for an registration day after you've deposited, your faculty are with you every step of the way until you graduate and well after. So I definitely would say that the faculty are probably my favorite part, and a second would be immersive term. I was very fortunate to go abroad during one of my immersive terms, and then one of my others, I did an internship full time, and it was a very telling experience for me to really know, okay, this is what I want to do, and start to kind of narrow down my career path. Okay, let's see if there are any other questions. Someone else would like to know how hard it is to get a job on campus. Great question. So we have tons of employment opportunities on campus. So if you are a student who is work-study eligible, you are actually able to do a work-study job on campus. That's really great because you can kind of balance academics with the work-study. So it's really work-study. So if there is no work to be done, you can absolutely take that time to study. And if you are not work-study eligible, you can also get a job on campus that's just a standard job. Our jobs on campus are kind of all over. There's jobs in our dining hall, in our bookstore, security, academic, like administrative jobs on campus with academics. We hire students in admissions. There's also a ton of jobs in just downtown Franklin, I feel like. So, you know, if you're interested in working in a boutique or maybe a coffee shop, there's definitely ample opportunities there as well. I don't see any other questions right now. But feel free to put any other last minute questions in the chat before we wrap up here soon.
Hayden, while you're waiting, maybe I could just touch on those last items. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, if any other questions come in, I'm happy to answer them, but I don't see any.
Okay. Right. Well, and let me just share my screen really quickly. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. We wanted to thank you for attending this session. When you close this window, a quick survey will pop up. It is just 4 questions, but we greatly appreciate your feedback. Also, as I said in the beginning, just remember there are multiple sessions available. So if there's another one that you decide you want to attend, just check out the schedule on IACAC.org. And there will be a recording available of this session also posted on IACAC.org. It may take a few days to get it up, but it will be there. So if you wanted to come back to anything that Hayden, talked about, you will be able to revisit the session. So once again, we thank you so much for coming. Hayden, did anything else come in?
I don't see anything else, so I think we're good. Obviously, if any students have questions, they can reach out to the just admissions@franklincollege.edu email, and then it will be dispersed to the appropriate counselor.
Cool. Thank you so much, Hayden. Have a great night.
Thank you. You as well.
Good night, everyone.